For them, like we need to know how they are categorized under this. Uh, so let's see it as per the book, because it's a very short period, and I want you people to catch up fast, just as a revision. Okay. So let's see. So we studied about yoga and lifestyle, and after that, the fourth unit is, I think, yeah, physical education and sports for CWSN, that is Children with Special Needs, Divyang. So what all things we must know is concepts of disabilities and disorders, then types of disabilities, its causes and nature, cognitive disabilities, then intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, then types of disorders, its cause and nature, and then disabilities etiquettes, then advantage of physical activity for children with special needs, and strategies to make physical activity accessible for children with special needs. So let's make it very fast. Um, when we take up disabilities is caused by an impairment that may vary from physical to intellectual, cognitive, uh, or both, or mix of all such impairments which prohibits a person to perform with same efficiency as others in the same age group. So disabilities, the concepts here is, um, disabilities and disorders are two separate terms. That means different types of physical and mental conditions. Disabilities means any kind of impairment or permanent reduction in physical or mental ability. The main kinds of disabilities are physical, sensory, psychiatric. Okay, physical, sensory, and psychiatric. Neurological, cognitive, and intellectual. Physical disabilities is most common type of intellectual and sensory disabilities. Okay, so as per WHO, World Health Organization, disability is a restriction. This is a definition, you can just remember this. Disability is a restriction or lack of ability to perform an activity in the manner or within the range considered normal for a human being. So it's a restriction of lack of ability, okay, to perform an activity in the manner or within the range considered normal for a human being. So there is a normal standard for everyone. Once the test is being done, if it becomes like they are lacking in some ability, they come under these disabilities. So can be broadly classified into structural disability. The ones which come under structural are kyphosis, lordosis, scoliosis. So it is related to the bony structure of the body. Generally, these are postural deformities. Okay, and deformation of the body may be acquired or congenital. It may be due to some. It would have got, like they would have got it. Either by it would have been, maybe the body may be acquired or congenital. The reasons may be accident, inadequate diet, or wrong habits of sitting while working. So the some examples of structural disabilities are kyphosis. It is caused by an exaggeration of the normal dorsal curvature of the spine. Dorsal curvature of the spine, resulting in hump of the back. So what is kyphosis? It is caused by an exaggeration of the normal dorsal curvature of the spine, resulting in hump of the back. So let's see what is lordosis and scoliosis. So lordosis is caused by forward exaggeration in the lumbar region. So here it is lordosis. It is caused by the forward exaggeration in the lumbar region, resulting in prominent abdomen, and stoop in the upper part of the body. Stoop in the upper part of the body. So it is caused by forward exaggeration in the lumbar region, resulting in prominent abdomen, prominent abdomen, and stoop in the upper part of the body. Okay, and then what is scoliosis? It is caused due to exaggeration of lateral curvature of the spine. Lateral curvature of the spine. So this is disabilities, and B1, second one is functional disability. Here, functional disability, in this type of disability, body organs are affected. Generally, these faults occur due to diseases, and sometimes due to chronic diseases, and sometimes the reason may be congenital. So, according to WHO, a functional disability is any long-term limitation in actual activity resulting from condition or health problem. It can be categorized as hearing impairment, visual impairment, motor impairment, organic impairment. Hearing impairment, it can be it occurs where a person is unable to hear completely or partially. Classified as severity on the basis of severity: mild, moderate, and high. And visual impairment is considered as inability to see all or partial loss in the vision of a person. Okay, motor impairment, it is loss or malformation or abnormality in skeletal, muscular, or neurological systems responsible for the body motion. And then organic impairment, disorder and abnormality in the internal organs of the body, forming various systems such as respiratory, digestive, endocrine system, etc. So, it disorder and abnormality in the internal organs of the body. So, this is organic impairment. So, this is about the okay. Now, international classification of functioning disabilities and health lists 9 broad domains of functioning. There are 9 broad domains of functioning which can be affected. So, here are basic physical mobility, domestic life, and self-care. Example, activities of daily living, and then learning and applying knowledge when people are having a problem in learning, then general tasks and demands, communication problems, then interpersonal interaction and relationship, community, social, civic life, including employment, and then other major life areas. It states that a variety of conceptual models have been proposed to understand and explain disabilities and functioning, which it seeks to integrate. Major conceptual models of disabilities have been proposed by ICF. So, let's see, on the basis of ICF, disorders of diseases are here: body functions, then participation, and then the activity is in the center. So, activity is environmental factor and personal factor. So, health condition, the model of disabilities, health condition, under health condition, disorders of the disease, then body structure one side, and then we have activities in the center, then participation. When we take up participation and body structure, there are environmental factor and personal factors. So, here the above diagram indicates ICF disabilities and functioning are viewed as outcomes of interaction between health conditions, diseases, disorders, and injuries. The contextual factors contextual factors are external environmental factors, social attitude, architectural characteristics, legal and social structures, as well as climate terrain, and so forth. And internal profession, past, current experience, overall behavior, behavioral pattern, then character and other factors, professions, then that influences how disability is experienced by the individual. So the diagram identifies the three levels of human functioning classified by ICF. Okay, and let's see definitions of these components are also given. Body functions, when we take up, are physiological functions of body systems, including psychological functions. And then what is body structure? Body structure is body functions, and then body structures were the first point, right? So what is body function and what is body structure? Body structure are anatomical part of the body, such as the organs, limbs and their components. Okay. Impairments are problems in body function or structure, such as significant deviation or less. So actually limitations are difficulties an individual may have in executing activities. So participation is involvement in a activity. So activity limitations are difficulties an individual may have in executing activities. So let's see about environmental factors. Environmental factors make up the physical, social, attitudinal environment in which people live and conduct their lives. So this is about and now let us see about concepts of disorder. It is functional abnormality or disturbance. The and then going by this definition, that is, disorder is an illness that disrupts normal physical or mental function. Going by this definition, could be defined as a set of problems which results in causing significant difficulties, distress, then impairment or suffering in a person's daily life. Okay, or dysfunctions which negatively affects the structure or function of an organism physiologically and psychologically. Disorders are physical or mental conditions that disturb the normal functioning and daily activities of an individual. So these two things you have seen, what is disabilities and what is disorders. So these two are different. Now let's see types of disabilities. The types of disabilities are cognitive disabilities, when we take up mental retardation, hyperactivity, dementia, head injury and stroke. Intellectual disabilities, genetics during pregnancy, childbirth. Physical disability is congenitally acquired. So when we take up cognitive disability, categories include the people who have problems associated with memory, thinking, remembering, learning disorder and problems associated with perceiving things. So the commonly known type and cause of cognitives and then impairments are mental retardation. A person is considered mentally retarded if he has an IQ below 70, average IQ is 100. So if they are difficulty in functioning independently, they come under mental retardation. Language and learning disabilities, the people are special children who have problem in listening, speaking, reading, writing, reasoning and mathematical calculation. Then head injury and stroke, these are people who have suffered head injuries and are those suffering strokes. When people suffer stroke, they physically get impaired. So here one reason is that Alzheimer, we all know, dementia and Alzheimer is a memory loss disability, and it is related to the progressive degeneration of brain or nervous system, which leads to progressive intellectual decline. confusion and disorientation. Then dementia, it is caused due to obstructions of blood flow towards brain, which leads to attention and leads to mental malfunctioning. It is progressive and often begins with loss of memory, learning difficulties, then attention and judgment making. In everything they have a problem. So this is about cognitive impairment. So even retrieving information and then recognizing people, all that becomes a problem. So some main categories of functional cognitive disabilities include the following, that is memory, then problem solving. Functional cognitive deficits, they may have deficit in memory. Problem solving also they may have a problem. Then attention they may not be able to give. Then reading, linguistic, verbal and writing comprehension, all these things they may have a problem. Like there are few children, they may not be able to learn English. There are children who may not be able to learn Hindi, and there are even some people there are so many reasons why we don't learn, but there are disorders also, deficits, like they may not be able to spell few things. Okay, so verbal communication also will be a problem. Then visual comprehension, then max comprehension. Okay, then what is memory? It is ability of a user to recall what they have learned over time. And what is problem solving? Individuals with cognitive disabilities have difficult time in solving the problems. And then attention is many individuals have difficulty with focusing their attention. And then what is reading, linguistic, verbal, writing and comprehension? These difficulties related to reading, speaking, understanding and writing are another challenges. So reading disorder also is called as dyslexia. It is characterized by trouble with reading. So this one example is dyslexia. And 6 types of reading difficulties are phonological, surface dyslexia, visual dyslexia, primary dyslexia, then secondary dyslexia, trauma dyslexia. Okay, then visual comprehension is individual with visual comprehension difficulties may recognize the fact that there are objects but may not be able to identify the objects. And the max comprehension is known as dyscalculia. It is difficulty in learning or manipulate comprehending arithmetic, such as difficulty in understanding numbers, learning how and then learning facts in mathematics. It includes various difficulties, difficulty in comprehension of max symbols, learning in memorizing and organizing numbers, difficulty in telling time, trouble in counting, difficulty in using max verbally. So these are all max problems. They may have problem in max comprehensions. Okay. Now about intellectual disabilities. So I'll carry out the remaining one after drinking water. Okay. Thank you. The daddy